Today, I'm so excited to introduce to you a woman who has had a career in hotel management. Her name is Connie Welsh, and she is here to share with us her transition through the hotel management scene. So Connie, thank you for being here.
Thanks, you're welcome. I'm glad to be here.
So where did it all begin?
It all began in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I started as a front desk clerk. And I'd had no experience. I had no background in hotel management, but at that time I was looking for a career that could be both upwardly and physically mobile. So because there's a lot of major corporations that are hotels, gives you that ability to move from city to city, state to state, country to country. So I wanted something that was upwardly and physically mobile, and hotels fit that description. And since I had no background, you start at the bottom, which is as a front desk clerk. So the most important thing if you're a front desk clerk is you really have to like to work with the public, because that's what you're doing. You're welcoming them to your hotel. You're answering all their questions. You're checking them in. You're checking them out. You're the first line of complaints. So you really have to enjoy working with the public. And if you don't, it's not a career for you. And I sincerely mean that. But I really do. I like working with the public. I think they can be a lot of fun, so long as you have fun with them. So I started as a front desk clerk, making the whopping sum of $2.10 an hour.
Wow.
And this was in 1976.
I see.
So minimum wage, $2.10 an hour. Had to punch a clock, which I absolutely hated, but that's where it was. So I learned how to learn the front desk. Now certainly it's all computerized, but still the functions are still the same. You're checking guests in, you're checking them out, you're taking payment, you're answering questions, you're referring them to what they should do in the city. Just anything and everything. And after
a lot of standing, right? You're standing up
a lot of
right?
standing. Yeah, you're standing most of the day.
Yeah.
Most of the day. So I guess that's important. Although some front desks now smartly have stools that you can sit on so that you still can be seen at the desk height and then are still able to answer questions. But you're doing a lot of standing. So I think it was about after, I don't know, several months working on the front desk, I then worked on the night audit, which is the 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift. And there you're learning, you're balancing all the work. So you're making sure that all the charges for that day are posted, whether it's food and beverage, gift shops, whatever, as well as all the room and tax. And then you're balancing receipts so that at the end of the day, your cash is at zero and everything is fine. So I learned that job as well. And then after about, I think it was a year, I was promoted to the front office manager. So that means I was responsible for all the front desk clerks, the phone operators, and the night auditor. So, but to me, the biggest thrill about that job was that I didn't have to punch the clock anymore. I mean, I got a good pay raise, but I didn't have to punch that clock. That was the best. So I was at that particular hotel for, I think about 2 years, maybe 3, because we're going a long time back here. And then I changed hotels because this was a small hotel. I wanted to get into a larger hotel. So even though it was a step back, I went to work for in Phoenix, the Point Resorts, which was a newer hotel, but really up and coming at the time. Started there as a senior front desk clerk, and eventually became the reservations manager and the front desk manager first, then the reservations manager, and then the front office manager. So the thing about the hotels, as I said, it gives you upward mobility, also physical mobility. And that's what I found. If you do a good job, the ability to get promoted is there. So like I said, when I went to the point, I started as a senior front desk clerk, went to the front desk manager. So that made me responsible for all the shifts at the front desk. So that included all the hiring and in some cases, the termination of employees, all the scheduling, everything that would be involved. The next step when people wanted to see the manager, then I was the manager. Um, and just, working, having to do well with people. Again, not just your guests, but you have to work well with your staff and be inclusive with them. One of the hardest tasks, I think, for any manager, if you've got multiple shifts, is learning how to schedule. And you really need to take your employees into account when you're scheduling so that you're making their life as easy as possible as well as yours. So that's a skill that if you want to be a manager that you really should learn and listen to your employees. I had such great employees at the point that I was able to team my employees up as team A, B, C, and D. I just assigned people to slots, the team to a slot, and it was up to the individuals to make sure it was covered. And I did that for well over a year. And I think in all that time, only 1 or 2 people ever missed a shift or doubled up. It was great. So, but that comes with a lot of confidence and, ability, trust in the ability of your employees.
Right.
Yeah. So that was that position. And then, like I say, I went to reservations manager, which is totally different than front office because you're not dealing really with the public in person. You're only dealing with them on the phone. But the scheduling from the front office helped in the scheduling of reservations because, again, we weren't computerized. So all the reservation boards were manual. So you had to schedule. So that really helped.
Right.
And working again with the employees because you also had employee schedules. So I did that for another year or 2, and then I became the front office manager. That position then even grew because now you're responsible for the front desk, reservations, hotel operators, bellmen, drivers, concierge. So a much broader employees. I think at some point I had probably 60 employees in that position.
Wow.
And I did that for probably about 4 years. And then they decided that I should be, the powers that be at the resort said, we really need some changes in our housekeeping department. And we think you're the one who could do that. So then I became the executive housekeeper, which is probably the toughest job I ever had.
Wow.
It's really hard because you're scheduling employees who have a whole different approach to their life than the people in the front office. And how to say this politically correct? It's a different level, a different class of employee.
Right.
So you're dealing with a very, I've got to say that, a different lower class employee. And the mental mindset is totally different. And I had many excellent housekeepers. We call them suite attendants because that's what we had, were suites. But their mindset was, okay, this is how many days I've worked this week. This is how much money I need to pay my bills. I've already got there. I'm calling off my 5th day.
Oh, wow.
And this was a normal mindset. So it wasn't exceptional, but it was an adjustment for me. Right. Because then you always have to overschedule. And then when everybody shows up, then you're like, oh my God, who wants to go home? There's always somebody who wants to go home. So, but it was that. So we were trying to get to the 5th star. So in hotels, there's 5 stars, 5 diamonds, and for convention hotels, gold keys. So 5 star is the mobile 5-star rating. 5 diamond comes from AAA, and gold key comes from meeting planners. So that's a triple crown of hotels. So you have to do all kinds of extra things to go from 4 to 5 that only costs money and a little bit more of service, but a lot of money. But back to housekeeping. So that was really tough. There was we had 350 suites.
Wow.
But it not only included the suite attendants, it included the laundry and it included all the pool attendants. So it was about 150 people total.
Jeez.
So it was a lot of management, but it gave you a really broad knowledge of the hotel. But also having been the front office manager and transitioning into executive housekeeper gave me a better connection between the front and the back of the house. So I think there are two areas that if you ever aspire in a hotel to be a general manager, you need both. You need both the front of the house experience and the back of the house experience because they're totally different.
So in today's career, if somebody thinks they want to go into that career, do they have to study it in school, or what do you think is different today?
More people do study it in school, but the ability to enter, do an entry level as if in the front of the house as a front desk clerk or reservationist is still easy because it's really the experience. As the first place I worked with, they brought in a young man who had gone to Cornell's School of Hospitality. And this is one of the best in the nation. Back then still is today. He didn't have a clue. He did not have a clue how to interact with guests. He didn't have a clue how to interact with other front desk clerks. He had all the theory, but he had none of the practice. And he felt that that position was below him because he had a degree. Well, I had a degree, but that wasn't the point. But his point was, well, I have a degree from Cornell. This is below me. I should be a manager. But he didn't even have the skills to be a desk clerk.
Right.
And those skills are people skills.
So do most people in the hotel business, do they work 40-hour weeks, or how does that work?
Yeah, when you're entry level, you're 40 hours a week. So if you're a desk clerk, a reservationist, a bellman, most of the time you're working a 40-hour week. When you're a manager, 40 hours a week seldom exist. More 50, at least in my day, mostly 50 and occasional 60. But part of that also has to do with how your assistant managers are. I had an incredible assistant manager that she and I could almost always have 2 days off a week together. So I'd be off Sunday, Mondays, she'd be off Friday, Saturdays. But because she was so capable and I had so much confidence in her that as a team, we could do that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was pretty fortunate. That's not normal. But I'd say if you're a manager, you're going to be minimum of 50, probably many times, depending upon your occupancy, pushing 60.
Wow. So having all this hotel experience, what are some of the best hotels now that you would say in the world?
What are some of the what?
What are some of the top hotels in your opinion, knowing what you know?
Geez, it's so bad. I seldom stay at a hotel anymore. I do Airbnb. But I'd say the top hotels are still so many of the ones that were there before. You have the Marriotts, you have the high-end Hiltons, and all of these now have multiple levels of brands. So they have the entry brand, and then they go up to their high-level brand. So it's really, it's a kind of difficult to say, but the bigger brands are still really excellent as long as you're staying at their depends what experience you want. They can be excellent at a 2-star, or they can be excellent at a 5-star.
Right.
It really, the most important thing to me in any hotel, and I still look at this when I stay at hotels, is how clean are they? And that is really to me, the essence of a good hotel. Are the bathrooms clean? I mean, really clean. Is there any mold? I mean, there should be no mold. Are the rooms clean? There's so many different attributes that need to be done, but cleanliness is number one. So at a hotel that I worked at here in San Diego, it was like the biggest hotel at the time in '87. And we had some rooms that were just not up to snuff. And I mean, I walk into this room and you could smell the mold. And I took these rooms off market, which means they could not be sold. And that in the hotel means they're counted against your occupancy rate, which general managers don't like. And the general manager at this particular hotel came down furious that these rooms were off market. And he said, why are they? I said, because they stink. They smell of mold. And he said to me, well, what do you think people expect for $40 a night? And I said, they expect a clean room. He did not like that answer. And he went over my head and put them back on market.
Wow.
So, but a clean room is most important. So you want a friendly hello when you walk in, and you want a clean room. Those are the two most important things. And then of course, Wi-Fi. So
yeah, Wi-Fi. We can't live without Wi-Fi nowadays. I know. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I think it's fascinating. Do you think today that having a job within the hotel business is still a fun career?
I think so. I think, obviously it's been a little tough through the pandemic, but I think overall it can still be a fun career. You can have that upward mobility, the physical mobility, especially in a large corporation.
Right.
The Marriotts, the Hiltons, the Omnis, those hotels, that ability exists, or you can stay where you are.
Right.
But I have another friend two friends. One was in the catering aspects of the hotels, and he was in Palm Springs, Hawaii, New York, and eventually here in San Diego. And this other friend of mine, not in a corporate setting, but several other non-corporate settings, and her career spanned overseas, came to the US, worked for hotels, different hotels in Beverly Hills, LA area, and then moved out to Palm Springs. So a lot of flexibility, whether it's a corporate setting or non-corporate hotels. The ability is there based on your ability.
Right.
Yes.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, thank you, Connie. If anybody wants to ask you about your hotel experience, could they email you?
Sure, they can at ConnieWelsh01@gmail.com.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm sure that people will get a lot out of it.
Thanks. Nice to see you, Nana.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.